So moving on to the process.
No, that.
So the main thing is, okay, why do guys don't call back, especially when you feel there was a chemistry? I think the starting point is really to understand what goes on, well, in their mind. And number two, to be able to know what the point of the first date is. The other thing that I'll get into is the way that men choose a woman. So the process that he goes through in order to decide that among all of the women that he's dating, you will be the one that he wants to focus on. So we'll cover that. And the way that men and women process a date. There is a difference between the way a woman sees sees that person as a future partner, and on the men's side, the way he goes about it is a little different. So I'll get more into that. And finally, the pitfalls that will lead a guy not to call back. And these are usually the stereotypes that men do put women in that will make them say, you know what, I'm not going to call again. So these are the things that I will cover. But first, as I mentioned, the point of the date. I mean, if you look at it, it is a filtering process. Whether it's a man or a woman that goes into it, it is and should be a filtering process. Obviously, not all dates should lead into relationships, because this is where things could get a little messy. And moving on from there, I think going into dates, there should be a little shift in focus in terms of the way that you see that man, as opposed to going in thinking, I'm looking for Mr. Right. Why not think instead, I'm looking for Mr. Potential? Because
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
that's expected. Yeah, so when you look at somebody as Mr. Potential instead, your whole demeanor changes when you go into the date, because suddenly the guy that's in front of you has a bit more room to maneuver. It's not as if one strike and he's out. You're looking more at the potential, the way that he treats you, because that's the other thing. I think sometimes there's a tendency to have this checklist going into a date, and you want to make sure that the guy just checks off all of these items. So how about just leaving that behind and instead just focusing on the emotional part of the date, where you would realize how you feel around this person, how that person makes you feel, and really leave that thinking hat at the door. So that would be the focus.
What if like on paper he's really good and the date's nice, but it's just not, like you're going into it, like I'm the opposite, like I don't go into it with a checklist, I go into it going like feeling-ish. And then it feels like flat, but you want to give him a second chance because on paper he's really good. Is it worth it then?
No, never.
If you're the
Trust me.
opposite?
No,
like-
don't do it. Trust the feelings. If the paper looks good, the feelings don't. Trust the feelings.
Yeah,
Trust.
I mean, you should definitely trust your instincts and your feelings. As far as giving somebody another chance, you can do that. I think this is where you have to be very careful as to reaching that point where, in a way, that point of no return, where either you become intimate with a person or not. Because as far as developing, let's say even a friendship, it takes time. But let's say you are able to focus on the relationship first and really have the time to really see what that person is about. Give yourself time, and then you should realize whether he's worth it or not. So that's one way to go about it. Because you shouldn't precipitate anything. We shouldn't precipitate anything. So just give it time. Yeah. The second part of the first date is to evoke, of course, you want the physical connection to be there, but also the emotional one. The physical one, that's easy. I mean, you're attracted to the person or not. As far as the emotional one, it's about having the kind of conversation that will make him feel comfortable.